Hey guys, welcome to another episode of a Film Life vlog. I'm glad that you guys joined me. Hey, so we really need to talk about that new monstrosity of a camera. Those Digifilm cameras that Yashica apparently produced recently. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, I think it's about a year ago there was a Kickstarter campaign basically to bring back Yashica cameras, but in this case it wasn't Yashica film cameras, it was actually a cross. They basically had this camera design that was supposed to have the look and feel of a film camera, but yet it shoots digital. And the way they went about it was that they invented this new concept called the Digifilm, which are basically, they look like canisters that you insert into your camera, and they're supposed to simulate different stocks of film, but it's actually you're shooting in digital. So instead of having everything built into the camera, you load those canisters into your camera, and then you simulate black and white or different stocks. So let's fast forward to a few weeks ago, and apparently some of the sponsors of that campaign started receiving their cameras, and they were inundated with a ton of complaints. I mean, the reviews were overwhelmingly negative, that it was basically terrible. I could use other choice words, but I wouldn't. They were literally really garbage cameras. I've seen quite a few of the reviews on YouTube, and I felt really sad actually. I could not really rejoice in the misfortunes of this startup really. So the question that really came to my mind was, how did Yashica get to this point, right? And if you're thinking that this is really Yashica, it's not the Yashica company that produce beautiful cameras such as the ones that I have here right now. I mean, look at these lovely cameras that I have. This one here is the Yashica TL Electro. This one here is a Yashica FX-D camera. I also have a Yashica 635 camera here. Look at this beauty. And I have the Yashica Electro 35 as well. So this is not the Yashica that produced these lovely cameras. The company actually became Yashica Kyocera at some point, and then when they were facing a lot of problems with the digital revolution, they sold the name to a Hong Kong company basically. So that name and the rights to the name Yashica became owned by another company in Hong Kong. And so it's that company that is actually producing those cameras. I remember the first time I heard about those cameras, I was just wondering, I mean, why not just shoot film, you know? And I couldn't understand why anybody would invest over $100 for a camera like that when you could literally buy cameras like these for much less and actually get a better product from it. You could scan the film. If you so desire digital images, you could scan the images that you get from this, the negatives, and end up with your digital images. So I was really wondering why anyone would do that. And then when I started hearing the news, I wasn't surprised that it was really poor quality. Basically, the complaints revolved around the quality of the cameras. It was made out of plastic. They had parts that were just designed or molded into the plastic just to simulate a film camera. They had rings here that could not move on the camera. The lens is not supposed to come off, but some of the people that received their cameras actually came with the lens part detached from the body. Some were complaining about the fact that the shutter actually fires on the way up, not on the way down. There were some that complained about the canisters actually, that if they loaded it with black and white, it was actually shooting color and not black and white. There were a ton of complaints. And if you have a moment, just take a look at the cameras as they have and compare it to what they were sold in that Kickstarter campaign, and you will see a marked difference. The quality is just not there. And that really highlights how much workmanship went into something like this. How much workmanship, how much beauty actually and thoughtfulness went into a film camera like this. I really worry as people are seeking a middle ground. They're looking not to necessarily get into film. They still want the convenience, but I think people have reached a peak digital. I would say the digital revolution is at its peak. I think that people are starting to get a bit overwhelmed by all the iterations of cameras and megapixels, and it's just really overwhelming, and just so many players in that field, in that market, that I think people are starting to get numb. They're looking for something else, number one, and this company somehow sold them a bill of goods. They sold them the notion that, hey, you could still shoot digital and not necessarily have the inconvenience of a film camera. You could have that look of a film camera, but this was really poorly executed. And in my opinion, I think that the idea itself is not a terrible idea, but I really think that the way they executed it is just really bad. And I think that they really took advantage of people's expectations and people's hopes, and they really took advantage of people. I mean, producing toys like that for over $100 is not acceptable. I think they really took the Yashica name and basically drove it right into the dirt, I would say. That is sad for me, because I know how reputable Yashica is or was as a company in the business, and it's just sad to see that name soiled in this way. So yeah, so those are my thoughts on the Yashica Y35. I guess it's a hybrid camera. Those are my thoughts on it. If you have any desire to purchase that, I would strongly discourage you from doing that. I think that the best thing to do at this point really is for that company to really give up the rights to the name Yashica and possibly sell it to some other company that is actually serious about building film cameras, so that we can actually see a Yashica film camera, a new Yashica film camera being built or being sold in our time. So those are my thoughts, guys. I hope you enjoyed this little episode of a Film Life vlog, and if you did enjoy it, please do click the like button, and if you have not already subscribed, please subscribe to this channel. It's always a wonderful thing for me to see a new subscriber join this little family that I have here. So anyways, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and as always, stay safe.